Yes, I do. Oh, live. Okay, well, there we go. We're live. Yes, I am me, and he is him. This
And we are all
we
together.
we are the IRA.
Yes. We will not allow the bloody tyranny of all the British to sit there and take our island. Oh, crap. Whoops.
More background echoes. Okay, we got a lot of things to cover.
Yeah.
Many of things. First off, first part of this is pretty much going to have a lot to do with the energy, pretty much.
Yeah.
But we'd also like to take time to thank all the supporters and the fans of the energy and the players and that old stoner Bob Funk, that old bastard,
God,
Brent Skarkey.
high as hell.
The hell's wrong with your belt?
Yeah, dude, what? That was something else that we wanted to ask about. It's like, is there some reason that you leave your belt out and about the way you do?
It's willy-nilly.
Granted, I realize there could be a dozen reasons as to why that could happen, but
It's like every video.
it doesn't make any sense. Here, this is hot. All right.
But pretty much, we will be back with a lot more energy stuff next year. But there'll be other stuff in the meantime. We're going to do, of course, 2019's hate weeks. We have a lot of teams to hate on because they're stupid.
I got San Antonio next season, dude. As the one native-born Okie out of the two of us, I feel like it's my obligation to make fun of any and all Texas teams. Plus, we have new Texas teams coming in. And inevitably, there's going to, because of the regional locality, you're probably going to have. There's probably going to be more rivalries that will develop, and so we're excited about that, and we're happy to see that. So, and of course, next season we are still planning on having going to another away game. We're probably going to go to a Tulsa game next season because we missed out last season.
Yeah.
But
that would have been a good game to go to, that very last one.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. I wish we could have gone to that. Unfortunately, I forgot to put in PTO for that time, and so
yeah.
But at the same time, we want to either do we still want to go to Colorado or do we want to go to? I'd say Colorado.
I'd say Colorado Springs, yeah.
Because I've only driven through Colorado Springs, and I want to go to the top of Pikes Peak. I've never gone to the top of Pikes Peak, so I intend on going there. And so I think Colorado will probably be our big one, like we did to St. Louis this last season. So I don't know.
Yeah, only so many teams really are in range. It's like Colorado Springs, maybe Swope Park, maybe St. Louis, possibly San Antonio. I guess Frisco's an option now, but we'll get
that's
into
League
that
One though. But that's one of the few disadvantages of being an American soccer fan is that it's like all the other teams are so far away.
Yeah, they're not down the street. They're like, about 800 miles that way.
We really don't have a choice there. I mean, so. Yeah, it was a 9.5. It was a 9.5 hour journey to St. Louis and back. 9.5 hours each way. So we didn't have. I mean, it wasn't a bad drive.
No.
Getting up there, getting back, it was raining on us the whole time. But other than that, we had a lot of fun up there, and we want to once again. Thank all the people from up there in St. Louis. And for the most part, there was only like a few people that said, "Hey, the energy sucks," because we were all decked out in our energy gear and stuff. But I kind of expected that being an away fan. I mean, but it wasn't as bad. Most people were really cool and just talked to us and said, "Hey, welcome," all that jazz. And I traded scarves with another Marine as well, so I had a lot of fun up there. Patrick had a lot of fun up there.
I don't remember most of it.
We got good and drunk, and we had a lot of fun. So thank you for your hospitality, St. Louis. If any of your away fans come down next season, we'll return the favor. And of course, you're pretty much exempt from hate weeks as a result. So I would
Yeah,
say,
no real rivalry. If
yeah, I
one
mean,
develops, maybe in the future,
well,
but not at the moment.
it's
They're
because mainly because they've kind of been switching, and understandably
like
so. They've kind of been,
conferences,
yeah,
yeah.
going from conference to conference, and there's not really any hatred between St. Louis and Oklahoma City. So, okay, you have our, I mean, you have our respect. Okay, so great. But all that aside, we had fun, and thank you.
Oh yeah.
Um,
No, I'm glad we get to do the live stream now. We had technical difficulties for the last plan
yeah,
one, and then
well,
today I had a fucking screaming tooth. This almost got canceled. I'm glad the pain medicine finally kicked in.
right. Um, so, yeah, well, welcome back. And we're during the off season, we'll try to do this once a month for
Yeah,
everyone that's out there.
just basically a blitz of just we're talking about God, pretty much everything.
We don't have it. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we kind of have to cover it all, but
yeah. It's
we'll
like,
probably be here for a little over an hour, so
yeah.
don't worry.
Uh, and let's see real quick. Let me look at.
What do we got going on first, man?
Well, first off here,
Well, obviously, we're going to talk about
season, the
the season
2018
review.
season, basically the entire review
Oh
of this
man,
season. Yeah.
the first time we've missed the playoffs.
No, I think we missed the first season.
Did we miss the first season?
Very first season we
Okay,
missed.
well, I really we weren't following the energy at that time so much, but we
when we were in Fribble Stadium,
put our bill.
whatever
It's check.
name.
But we
Good start with the home opener, St. Patty's Day.
that was great.
Drunk,
that
packed
was
stadium.
one of the best games I've ever been to.
As far as the atmosphere was concerned, yes.
It was incredible. It was electric. Only one goal, but at the same time, it was a great goal. I mean, it was a great game. It was a great.
That was the game I ran into the capo of the Tulsa team.
Oh yeah,
and we were cool. We were talking. We'll talk to. We go out and smoke in the smoking section. We're talking to him, and we're like, yeah, man, we do a video, or we do a channel, an energy channel. Man, you should check it out. We talked about this a little bit, and he's like, okay, cool. And then we go to take a leak, and he's in there too. And I was like, oh, what's up, man? Yeah, nice to yeah, da 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 da. Oh yeah, we did a hate week on you guys. Actually, you should really check that out. And that's the one that got like a bunch of like views all of a sudden shortly after, and a bunch of thumbs down because you knew Tulsa fans were watching it. So it was,
Tulsa really just they did such a terrible job this season. I mean,
I wasn't wrong though. 3 wins, no more than 3 wins.
For as bad as the energy may have been this season, Tulsa was just that much worse.
Yeah.
And there are arch rivals. I mean, we do have rivalries with a lot of other regional teams.
We refer to them as our dumbass little brother.
Tulsa is, they're the ones we hate the most. So
yeah,
we're Tulsa.
It's like the player haters ball. Hate.
Yeah.
They're the guest of honor. And Swope
bombed out and depleted.
Bombed out. They were this season.
Like Afghanistan.
Yeah, but then after that, a painful, disgraceful 10-game losing
It started
streak.
It started with us watching the Phoenix game, and it just went downhill from there. It wasn't until Colorado Springs I want to say
June? We got hit by a train and it just kept running us over for a while there. And the issues for that. What was the formation Cook was trying to implement?
Well, normally when Jimmy Nielsen was there, it was always a 4-4-2, which is a pretty basic scenario, a pretty basic setup. Then suddenly Steve Cook shows up and he wants to put a 4-2-3-1 out there, and that's a lot more complicated of a setup, and it took a long time for that to be implemented. So I don't know if it was just so much the implementation, if it was the players, if what exactly was going on there. But I mean, you could see it with the attitude of the players that there was definitely a they were really pissed. I mean, there was and for the first time ever. Now, luckily at that time it was just myself and my significant other, and it was in the stadium. And when she went to go use the restroom, for the first time ever, I actually watched two fans almost get into a fist fight.
Yeah, oh yeah,
and it
I
was
remember that.
basically because of the frustration. Now I realized that yeah, emotions were running high. We were mad. We were angry. Now, but I don't ever want to see that.
Let's save that for Tulsa, guys.
Right. Well, we should save our hatred. We shouldn't fight amongst ourselves. Um, but I understand why it happened. I mean, everybody was mad. We were on like what an 11, 12 game losing
It
streak.
was a 10 before I think we either got a win or a draw. Which
Uh,
I think it was a win, but
I mean, it was heartbreaking to watch, and we never really recovered from it throughout the entire season. And
there
even
was like
though
a pickup
even
for a minute. But
well,
and
that's kind of how we roll there. We've rolled like that for like the past what 2, 3 seasons now, where it's like
yeah,
we start out real slow out of the gate, and then just kaboom, we rock the fucking house at the end of the season. And
one year we
so
just had a mid-season slump, and then that was it.
right, and that's not and I think that was what 2015, I believe. I had just really started to kind of pay attention to the energy
Yeah, I
or
think
see
so.
it's like oh hey whoa um but I feel like now that Cook is maybe better established,
Yeah,
maybe this will be better next season, but I can't make any promises. I'm not sure how this is all going to work out next season. So I'm only hoping we have a better score. And for the first
yeah,
time since we've been doing this, we missed the playoffs, which was the main reason we went up to St. Louis because it's like, well, this is
yeah.
our last big hurrah of the
That's it.
season. Yeah. So um, I hope
I hope he learns
that
how to make
next.
substitutions too.
I hope he learns how to do that. I mean, and which is sad because I like Sheffield Wednesday and he's from that club. But I don't know.
But
I
he had
mean,
no subs for like weeks,
oh yeah,
weeks
it
and
was
weeks, games and games. There
he
was
would
like no
leave
subs.
he would leave guys in there for the entire time it seemed, and it was like no, they're tired. The other team is subbing out, and that's
Yeah,
why they're managing to score goals after the 70th, 80th minute.
yeah,
I mean, because it would be scoreless there for a while. Defensively, we do a great job. We've pretty much always done a great job, with the exception of the center backs. It was like a rotating. It seemed like you always had a different guy back there in our center
yeah.
backs, and with a 4-2-3-1, you can't you have to have a much more established line of defense. And that was where a lot of opposing teams were killing us,
hmm
was because there wasn't as an established line of defense there.
We only had a couple high-scoring games on our end.
Right.
We had like what was it, a
Well,
six
yeah,
to
6-4. That was
Colorado Springs?
no, that was I thought that was Vegas.
Maybe Colorado Springs was 4-2, but we were limited. Yeah, that's a reoccurring issue. A lot of games we just score a goal or two.
You
That's
don't.
it.
I mean, you don't have to score you don't have to score 10 goals. Just outscore the other team. I mean, that's the point of the game. But it just didn't. God, I just did not. I was not happy with the entire season. Now, there were flashes of greatness. There were some good things that did happen,
Uh,
but man, I mean, but let's see it rebuild. Let's see that happen. You can't expect to win a championship every season. It just doesn't happen like that, especially not in the USL. So I don't know. We'll see what's going on. I was disappointed, but
yeah,
there were times where I was really, really, really happy.
but at the same time, feather in the cap. We got the wrench.
Got the wrench back. That's always a good thing. If
So it wasn't complete
so,
waste of a season.
it wasn't a complete loss, but it wasn't a great one either. But then again, I think we were kind of spoiled for going to the playoffs every year there, like we were.
Yeah,
So
what was it? 3 straight years,
yeah,
and
and
two of them was it one or two? We made the conference finals.
one, I think it was 2015. We made the conference finals.
And
Oh wait, no, 2015, and then last season when we faced up against
Swope Park
yeah
for the longest at the time. I don't know if it still stands the longest penalty shootout.
I think it got broke this season.
Yeah, I want
I
to say they
think
had
it
a
got
couple
broke
long
this
ones.
season because I remember seeing a score in the Eastern Conference and I believe that was an FC Cincinnati game
Uh,
where, and it wasn't like in the first round, but so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's make the playoffs next year for the love of God.
Shot callers.
I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
Steroids. No, no, that's Restrepo's department, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, Mr. HGH over there.
Which, speaking of Cook, talk about how the hell he got here. Whoops, not that. Yeah, we had Jimmy, and it was not that Jimmy wanted more money. He wanted more money for his staff, the energy. They basically didn't come to a conclusion or a deal, and Jimmy walked. So that's how we got Cook. You want him for another season, but at the same time, it also depends on who would you replace him with. Obviously, we're not getting Jimmy back. Jimmy,
There's tons of candidates out there, I would say.
I feel like I want to give him one more shot
Let's give
now
him
that
one
he's
more shot.
accumulated to the position here in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
You pull this shit again, though, Cook.
Yeah, I would say that if it's a similar season, if it's similar or worse, get him out. I
There's
mean,
already a Facebook page dedicated to Cook out, which shockingly, no, we didn't start that.
no, we didn't start that. That's not us. We try to advocate for greater stability within the club, but man, at the same time though, hey, it seems like he's running a certain system and he's running a certain way that he wants to have this done. Great. If this works, then by all means, man. And if it's a slightly better season, I'll consider it a win
At
because
least we get into the playoffs.
right,
Otherwise, tarred and feathered.
right. I mean,
Driven out of town.
this is last chance saloon. You have there's no room for error now. And because I realized, hey, this is a first year coach. Hey, he's
Yeah.
trying to implement a
What
fairly
he's used to.
he's trying to implement a fairly complicated system and something much different with the same cast and characters that they had from a season where it was a different system. Great. Let's see it work. That's all I got. I mean, that's really all I've got on this. I mean,
No, yeah, pretty much.
as far as Steve Cook's concerned. So, hey, I'm a fan of Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, they're not Arsenal to me, but
Yeah,
I
Arsenal?
yeah, I thought
Like,
I thought we went through this.
like, what was it? Tottenham or
No,
Manchester United?
no, 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 no.
Or not Tottenham. Everton.
Everton's another team. Well, that was mainly because they had Tim Howard on goal. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the same reason I like the Cleveland Browns now.
Oh yeah.
Baker Mayfield and all that.
Yeah, which we're talking about everything tonight. We're getting into that one too. Yeah.
We'll get there. I mean, we do have a lot of ground to cover, but let's.
Jimmy, just come back. Hartford's. I mean, Oklahoma kind of is, but I mean,
Oh, I understand. Being a native born Okie, there's not
you
a
got
lot
Bob
to do.
Funk, man. He'll kill that pay. He's Dr. Feel Good. He'll make you feel all right. I want to do a video where it's dazed and confused, but I want to crop Bob Funk's head into what was it? Hey man, you gotta join. Hey, hey, hey.
Yes.
And then it goes, but he's also a millionaire, so then it would turn into I didn't know he was driving Lincoln. But put like a blunt in his mouth the whole time. That'd be great.
Just out in the middle of nowhere, just enjoying a nice toke. But anyways, concerning Jimmy Nielsen, I want to say, hey man, good luck in Hartford. You gave us a lot of good wins. You gave us a lot of good memories,
We can't
and
sing Jimmy's
you
Army
helped
anymore.
establish the club. We don't hate you.
No.
We have no hate. We still have a lot of respect for you.
Plus, you're in the Eastern Conference, so we don't have to deal with
Yeah,
it.
there's no reason for us to really. There's no reason for us to hate. We reserve our hate for when it's necessary.
Yeah, it's not like you're some dumb team like Swope.
I would say it is not necessary at all. So, but we'll see. I hope, and especially given the fact that I have pleasant memories of being and living in Connecticut, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoy it, and so kudos and good luck, Mr. Jimmy Nielsen. So, we hope that you do well up in Connecticut. So, We have anything
Yeah.
else on this?
No, not really about them. But we do need to go over
Oh,
the.
all right, the roster. Okay.
Oh
So we do
yeah,
have some people that are unfortunately
we'll just need
leaving
to
that we
rip this
don't
down.
want to leave, and then we have some people that are leaving that we're kind of glad are leaving. So
It's kind of bittersweet. Guys that are in, they're going to be here next year. Brian Byers, solid backup.
cool.
I
Yeah.
like him. Cody Lorendi,
Oh man, I'm
the man.
so glad you're still here. I named one of my cats after you.
Drew Becky.
Okay, that's another solid one. I think that he'll be solid on defensive and midfielder.
Then of course he's here, he's there, he's every fucking
Every
where.
fucking where.
Kyle Highland, which I'm happy about.
Yes.
That's just going to continue our great offensive play that we've consistently
Well,
had
we've
since,
all we've always had. He's always been an excellent player. I've loved him ever since I first started following the energy. Uh, Man, I hope you stick around for a
Oh
while
yeah,
longer. I really do. And there's a lot of fan because you're a fan favorite. A lot of people like you a lot.
yeah,
You've been there ever since I've really started really following the energy, and please stick around.
yeah. Please do.
You're a great player, man, and I want you around because you're an excellent team player as well. Who else we got?
We're keeping Matt Van Okel.
Also another one, but I and nothing against Matt Van Okel. I mean, he's a solid veteran. He's been around for a long time, but I would want Cody Lorendi to continue to start.
Yes.
I would want Cody Lorendi to continue to start, not just because he's a fan favorite and the ladies love him, but a lot of that has to do with Matt. I don't want to turn you into another Tim Howard. Okay, you're a great guy. I like you a lot, man. I would say that right now we have a solid goalkeeping regiment right now.
It's almost like when a superhero
Keep
wraps up the job. It's like I'm needed somewhere else.
Stick around. We like you. There's nothing wrong with you, but I would rather out of the three of the guys that are there, let's have Lorendi starting because hey, man, when you're older than me and I'm 34, or well, yeah, we're both 34, so hey. When you're older than us, then man, it's time to start thinking about what you're going to do after your career. If I was a player of a major team, I'd start thinking about what I'm going to do afterwards. Am I going to coach? Am I going to go be in a development program? That kind of thing.
He could get into porn or something.
And I think he get into porn.
Oh, fuck.
What else we got, man?
Atiba Harris.
Excellent. Also another one that was that was always somebody that you would see running with the ball that could do it well. He's got some good technical skills.
He had some hustle.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that he's around. I'm glad that he's stuck around as well.
Christian Ibaga.
Christian Ibiega. Man, you know something? I love it when a player has fire, when he's got attitude, and Christian Ibiega exemplified that. When a player's got that kind of attitude and that kind of, because he was a personality out there on the pitch. Granted, there's times where it was like, hey, man, you're going to need to tone it down a little bit. It's like, dude, you don't, whoa, because you don't, well, no, it's because you don't want to be arguing with the ref as much as he did.
Yeah, okay.
And because because you don't know exactly because the ref could card you at whatever point. We don't need any penalties. We need to keep the fair play up that we have. But that wasn't always an issue. At the same time, though, he's a solid player. Stick around. We like you too. Who else we got?
Jose Barrio.
Yeah,
I was happy when I saw that name.
My favorite guy that was there at the last season, and one of my favorite player was Jose Barrio last season. So I was always happy to see him, and when I saw he was coming back, I was happy about that as well.
Oh yeah.
So man, yes, that was great to see it. A solid midfielder. Led the league, or he had a streak of assists there in the middle of the season, and I think he has the club record now of assists. So having Jose Barrio back means that we're going to have another solid year out of Jose Barrio. So
Marco Bustos,
the Canadian guy, he had several goals where you could see where his skill really came through. Especially, I think it was the Seattle game where he scored. It was his first goal that he scored, and he did it in traffic. So,
Yeah.
that's not easy to do. So, and especially anytime that I could see a Canadian player coming down to the United States and playing, I'm always happy about that. So,
Why
because
not?
hey, I like Canada. What can I say?
And I was happy. Callum Ross.
Callum Ross coming back also. Certainly nothing that I don't have anything bad to say about Callum Ross at all.
No, another one with us.
What else we got?
Deshaun Brown.
Deshaun Brown, apparently, supposedly. Now, I haven't seen a whole lot out of him. And
Yeah.
when we went to St. Louis, I think wasn't that the first game we really saw where
I don't remember.
he was okay.
I remember we got to walk on the pitch at the end, and I was yelling at something.
And we had beers in our hand as we were walking around the pitch. And that was everybody was out there celebrating the fact that they've never been to they've been a club since 2016 and they've never been to the playoffs, and they were ecstatic. And some of the St. Louis fans were begging us, please do not win this game, just tie us, okay? If they hadn't picked up that point, there would have been no hope for them in the playoffs whatsoever, or for them to go to the playoffs.
San Antonio would have made it. So I guess I'd rather see St. Louis go than San Antonio.
Much rather see St. Louis than San Antonio. We'll have a. I've already got an idea about what it is that I want in
I
my
did come up
week
with
video.
one for Tulsa for next year.
Oh, okay. So I got two.
Yeah.
I'll take two because we'll play Tulsa 3 times. I'm sure I'll drum something up about Tulsa. It's easy.
And then Jamie Siage?
Siage.
Yes.
He was one of the rotating. I believe he was one of the rotating center backs, and I think he did the best job that was over there for as far as our defensive back line. Which, man, there were several times where I saw that where he would do a good job of being able to keep a wall up. He did a great job of being there in the box whenever one of the goalkeepers couldn't be there in the box at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Being a defender is all what being a center back is all about. So we'll see, and he does a good job of that. So who have we got leaving?
We'll see what it's all about. Oh, these are the guys that are out of contract. So, to my understanding, the Energy aren't planning on signing them. Of course, this could change, but these guys may not be around next. We're probably not going to be around. So, this is the bitter part. Richard Dixon.
I don't like that because he's been with the team for a couple of years now. But if he wishes to leave, I wish him the best. So,
Sean McLaws.
I never really saw too much from McLaws, but he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the homegrown players. And I don't always like to. Yeah, he was somebody I think born and raised Oklahoman. And to see, an Okie leave an Oklahoma team that's always kind of sucks. But from what I understand, he didn't have quite the same technical skills as some of the other team members that were on there.
Where he's going to go.
I haven't the foggiest.
And then say goodbye to Monty Patterson. Old Monty. I'm not familiar with him. Max Gunderson. Justin Chavez. Miguel Gonzalez.
Oh, that was a name I didn't want to read. I like Miguel Gonzalez. He was always he was always that was another big personality on the team that we were happy to have, and it just I don't know what happened.
Yeah, he's up there with Highland and Lorendi.
Right. Yeah, he's been there for a while, and I hate to see him go, especially considering that he did score several goals during the season. So.
And then no more Juan Pablo Guzman.
Man,
which that was another one.
One of the best midfielders that we had. He would work really well with Jose Barril in the midfield, and because he was a setup artist. He did a great job of setting up. But there were several times in the 2017 season where he did excellent in setting up for more and more, setting up a lot of goals that were being scored. Mm-hmm. That was whenever, especially with, what was his name? Jose Angulo, when he was on the Energies team. And unfortunately, Mr. Angulo decided to leave in the middle of the season. So I don't know. We'll see what's going on with that. But Mr. Guzman, if you leave, good luck to you, sir.
And Gonzalez and pretty much everyone else leaving. Philip Rasmussen.
The Dane that was leaving. I think he had one more year on his contract. He was one of the guys that Jimmy brought in, and I think he decided he's going to go. So
yeah, I like him though, but
I did too.
And I guess if you're going to lose one Dixon, we're going to lose the other, Alex Dixon.
Alex Dixon leaving is not another thing that I didn't want to see. I did not want to see Alex Dixon leave either. But you can't keep an entire roster on the team, especially not in this league. You're not going to be able to do that. So
yeah. Christian Volsky.
Christian Volesky is somebody else that I didn't want to see leave. Now he was a newcomer in the middle of the season. But he put a lot of points on the board, man. He did great. That was something that some of the St. Louis fans mentioned to me. It's like it's like there's several guys that did okay or did poorly here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And then they would leave some other team, and then they just rock the house. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Volesky, seeing him leave there because there were several, and especially during the Tulsa game, him knocking one out of the park the way he did, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. This is a baseball field, guys. What are we doing here?
That was pretty funny. I mean, I was waiting for something like that to happen, and, well, we saw it, so.
Yeah, Tulsa. Well, when we talked to the capo, he kept crowing about the new retractable pitcher's mound.
It's like, dude, we're talking about trying to
baseball stadium.
It's like we're talking about getting our own stadium here pretty quick, and you're over here excited about a retractable baseball mound, dude. I mean, I guess you gotta take them as you can get them, but you're still playing in a baseball field.
It's a nice baseball park.
Yeah,
it's for a minor league one. It is really nice.
Sure.
not as good as Bricktown, or what's it called now? Chesapeake, not Chesapeake. Blackhawk Ballpark, whatever the hell they call it now. I don't know. I hate the Dodgers.
Me too.
And then Jonathan Brown's leaving.
Goodbye.
Kind of indifferent. Cook, he was not a starting striker.
I don't know why. I think a lot of that had to do with that.
He was a starting striker, and he wasn't able to get it done. And at the same time, he should have been the starting striker to begin with.
Do you think maybe there may have been some favoritism there because, hey, this is a countryman?
Too? Yeah.
Or well, I mean, he's Welsh, but at the same, I mean,
could be.
Might as well be.
I don't know. No.
I hate to say that. No, my apologies to anybody from Wales that may be watching this, but dude, there's hardly any ethnic or never mind. Anyways, yeah, dude. Okay, Jonathan Brown. He seemed to screw every third thing up. He would never be on time with things. It's like when I saw he was leaving, I was like, okay, goodbye. So
and so far that's all that's been released. Everything else is going to come at a later date, pretty much. But first group of guys are in. I'm not going to say all those names again. And then the second, most of them we don't want to see go. I want to take Jonathan Brown, and I want to make him go play for the Browns. Just throw him out as running back.
I wonder how he would do. I mean, he might be unfamiliar with the game entirely, but his last name is Brown. Might as well do it.
Maybe a safety. Yeah, I want to go stick him on Cleveland. You're going to Cleveland, Brown. That's happening.
Maybe an all-purpose player. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next? Oh, yes.
Stadium.
Man, okay. This is something I have wanted to talk about for quite some time now. This is, okay, what the MAPS program is, for anybody who may be unfamiliar. This is a tax this is a tax increase that Oklahoma City has kept passing. Now, there is no guarantee whatsoever that this is going to pass, because MAPS 3, which was the last one, let me back up here real quick. MAPS is a penny tax that has been utilized since 1993 in Oklahoma City to pay for downtown reconstruction that they have been using Now, Bricktown is great. The river is great.
God, we should
All
stay
of
there.
all of what has been, and it has revitalized downtown Oklahoma City immensely.
Yeah.
And it's been a great thing for Oklahoma City. We're about to have a new civic park.
New
It's been
convention
helping
center.
out. It's been helping out schools.
So maybe
Yes, new
hockey.
convention center. We're about to have a large hotel. I think 40 stories. I think was the last. I may be wrong on
New
that.
way will have the world's highest water slide as well,
Yeah,
which I'm excited for that one.
yeah, that's gonna be cool. I mean, your damn water slides. uh, but one of the things that they were talking about, now nothing's set in stone yet.
Yeah, no,
This is just they were just kicking ideas around for
they're
the
actually
new.
requesting ideas from people.
Now
Like,
here's the thing. Here's where this kind of gets a little bit sketchy. The last Maps tax that came up was Maps 3. It barely passed. It really did not. There wasn't a whole lot of, this was like the park and every. Uh-oh. You okay?
yeah. Whoops. Damn
Well,
robots.
technical difficulties there. We're okay, folks. Drunken cameraman. Anyways, this was something that it barely passed. It didn't pass with the same enthusiasm as Maps 1 and
That's the
Maps
one that
2
did
did.
Bricktown?
This was the Civic Park, the new convention center, the new hotel.
Maps 3?
Yeah, Maps 3.
Okay.
And it also did maps for kids. I'm sure that what they're going to do is they're going to continue the school program. That'll probably be a greater incentive for this to pass. But there really isn't any guarantee on this. One of the things they were talking about, though, is having a new downtown, right by the river, stadium for the energy. Now, one thing that we learned while we were in St. Louis, and when we do our next year, we plan on doing an entire little series of soccer in St. Louis. I'm already in the process of writing it. One thing that we figured out why their MLS bid failed was because of the fact that it was the county around the county, because St. Louis City and St. Louis County are not the same governmental entity. What the county was trying, especially a lot of residents of the county, were trying to get the city to pay for a brand new soccer stadium, which would have landed an MLS team. The voters of St. Louis rejected it on the grounds that they're not going to pay for and this was one of the big reasons why the Rams left St. Louis, that they're not going to pay for the county's entertainment. And I fully understand this.
At least not the entirety of it.
Now, Oklahoma City isn't set up this way, of course. The city and the county are almost one and the same as far as. So a lot of the suburbs around Oklahoma City are all in Oklahoma County. Now, we live in Shawnee, so we can't vote on this because Shawnee's not in Oklahoma County.
Or else I would.
We're in Pottawatomie County. I would vote yes on this as well, not just because, hey, I'm excited for a new soccer stadium. No, because I realize that having these tax incentives and increases are paying for revitalization of Oklahoma City, and that would be the biggest thing for it, and it is helping a lot of Oklahoma City public schools. Roadways, walkways.
Complex.
Do what?
Get rid of that little brother complex too.
Right. You know, one thing you'll figure out about Oklahomans is that we have a really bad inferiority complex. We have ever since John Steinbeck wrote The Grapes of Wrath back in the 30s, and it pissed us all off. So, one thing that
that'd be a good remake though.
You think they should remake The Grapes of Wrath?
If they're remaking everything else, that's one that might actually be good to remake instead of talks about remaking Fight Club or Terminator.
God heaven, no, I don't ever want to see that. That would be terrible. But one of the things that they were kicking, because right now they're in the process of just getting ideas from people around Oklahoma City. And
Yeah.
one of the biggest ideas that the city was starting to kick around was, hey, new soccer stadium. What do you guys think? So unsurprisingly, though, a lot of people there was a lot of negative comments in the News 9 section that I read.
I didn't see that.
There was some negative comments from people saying, it's like, no, we need football here first. Because Oklahoma, let's not beat around the bush. We are a football-heavy state. We always have been. It's kind of surprising. I think if an NFL team showed up here and they wanted to do something like that, it would take off.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you and OSU would be pissed, but
they would lose a lot of their fan membership. I would say, and that was one of their biggest worries with the Thunder coming to town. They were afraid it was going to take away from OU and OSU basketball, and it really didn't. They still have pretty good attendance. OU and OSU can pull in quality recruits. It's not that big of a deal.
The cat's stealing your rug.
Oh, there goes my Thunder rug. Right now, one of my cats is deciding to pull that through the
bottom of the door.
The bottom of my door in this room that we're currently in. So, anyways,
we should do a bot farm, and then go to their website. What is it? Ideas for maps for this suggestion, and just have all these bots just say soccer stadium, soccer stadium, soccer stadium.
That's not a bad idea to do something like that.
Or hashtag ideas for maps, whatever the hell that means.
Well, I went ahead and put my 2 cents in and said that yes, there needs to be greater funding for Oklahoma City public schools. There needs to be schools revitalized, rebuilt, and there needs to be new schools built. You don't have a choice on this. I mean,
yeah.
But I also said put the soccer stadium down there, because one of the advantages of having a new soccer stadium wouldn't be just because, hey, we have a new place to play, we have this brand new shiny stadium or whatever. It wouldn't be just for the energy. You could attract potentially soccer tournaments for youth or something like that, and it would bring people to Oklahoma City, and it would give us greater tax revenue. Also, one thing that I found out in a lot of soccer stadiums that they do and this is any stadium basically, you could hold concerts in it. It would be yet another venue for there to be. You could hold
those are nice ones because you got the grass. Bring like a blanket.
Well, and it would be yet another venue to choose from, and I think having something like that would attract more major bands to come to Oklahoma City, because it's like, well, we have a plethora of options here, and
you could set up like a picnic, like a day on the green. Mom used to go that in Oakland, which was a big deal.
Oh yeah.
And you could set up your blanket, bring a picnic, some alcohol, and listen to like Cannibal Corpse.
Oh,
that'd be
awesome!
Pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't know that, but
it'd be day on the green in Oklahoma City.
That would be because there's already a few options, and with the new downtown park.
Yeah, there's some parks, and there was something else. Some university was talking something like they want to build stuff there.
In the park?
Like for the Maps 4 in that region.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that. But
maybe it was for I could have been looking at. Maybe I didn't look at the data. Maybe it was an old failed Maps 3 proposal for all I know.
Oh.
But no, soccer stadium.
But I would say that the good outweighs the bad here.
Yeah. Plus, they're building a hangout area for supporters, parks and stuff. There's going to be like side parks and stuff, I believe.
And it'll be able to free us out. It'll be able to free us out of Taft Stadium, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love going to Taft. Yeah, it's a historic stadium. It's a beautiful stadium. But the fact that they have to share it with Oklahoma City Public Schools and they have to change it over costs a lot of money for the club and for Oklahoma City Public Schools. So to have our own stadium, I think, would be beneficial for Oklahoma City. Personally.
I think it would be,
and that's not, and as I said, that's not just for me wanting a new stadium.
I just want a new stadium.
I feel like there's other things that can be utilized for this other than that. And here's another thing, you could have this in downtown stadium, and during the off season, you could have playoff football games and state championship games there, because you could still fit a football field inside of it. So.
Yep.
And there's nothing, and it could even be like some of the smaller schools, and having them go to Oklahoma City right there, you also have more revenue coming in. So there are, I would say, there's a lot more pros than there is cons. If I felt like there was, no matter how much I want the new stadium to be, if I felt like there was more cons, I would be against it. But
It's a
in
little
this
too
instance,
shady.
I feel like we could do it, and we could do it now. So let's get it done.
Plus, they're looking at either a 10,000 USL stadium or a 20,000 MLS stadium, and they talked to the Oklahoma City mayor,
And he's on board with it.
Slippery Joe. Yeah,
See,
he seems to be cool
with
with
Mick
it.
Cornette, he was just kind of like indifferent about soccer at this. But David Holt, the new Oklahoma City mayor, he's on board with this and is a big supporter of Oklahoma City sports, the energy included. So now is the time. This is our opportunity. We have to take it. And if you don't take it now, there may not be another opportunity to do it.
We may
So
just have the Thunder and only the Thunder forever.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Thunder, but man, come on, let's
One
see
more
this
pro
happen.
team.
Let's
One more
see this
major pro
happen.
team. That would be nice.
So I would love to see this happen. I want to see this happen. This is the time to do it now. And if we could get that downtown stadium, it would be beneficial more than it would be a detriment. So there's a lot of things that could happen other than just the energy playing in the stadium. There's a lot of other things you could do with this. Right now is the time. Now, of course, I'd say schools are first and foremost,
Mhm.
all right, but doing that, it would be a great benefit to Oklahoma City, in my opinion. And this is as I said, I've thought a lot about this. I've tried and unfortunately, you're probably going to get it's probably going to be named something stupid like. God only knows which energy companies are probably going to get the naming rights to it.
Max
So,
and Tad Stadium. With that
God, don't say that.
basketball.
Ugh, don't say that. Ugh.
Well, I like Taft, and if they had to stay at Taft longer, I think it would be cool if they did get rid of I don't necessarily want to see them do this, but they'd have to get rid of the track, expand the field, and like I was saying on that grassy side, I would want to put seats there, kind of like a little half bowl. But because it's a little farther back, those would just be like discount seats, like $8 tickets or something like that.
I mean, not even that, because
Yeah.
I mean, I've been over there on that side and looked on that. Yeah, you can't. I mean,
Well, it's because of
it's
those
hard to.
stupid, it's those ritzy fucking
Ugh.
douchebag tents. That's why it blocks the view.
Well, and that would be another thing that we wouldn't ever have to worry about again. Is because
Get rid of
if
the
we
pod
had
people.
we would get rid of the South Side pods down there for like super wealthy people or
Them
whatever.
and their
Because
buffet
yeah,
and their
it's like
ice
200. It's like
sculptures.
200 a fucking ticket. I mean,
Yeah, you'll fuck yourself on that.
yeah, and they have buffets, ice sculptures down there. Well, if we had a stadium, we could get rid of that entirely because then they would have boxes. They would have actually luxury boxes, and that would having something like that would actually bring in more revenue because you would then attract more of these wealthy people up in the boxes and stuff, and you could get them out of there. We don't have to watch it anymore.
Yeah. No way.
So, and also having that, we would have our own Section 46.
Yes.
A lot of soccer stadiums have a tendency to spell out things with the chair backs. You do OKC on one side of the stadium, and on the other side do Energy. But where we would all sit inevitably on the corner, there should have like the star, from the from the 46, from the old state flag.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm just kicking some ideas around here. But put the star out of there. That way we could, from the old state flag, like
Green
that.
lights everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Make it glow at night.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Even the big lights to light up the pitch.
We've thought about this quite a bit.
Make them green.
Or at least I have.
Green strobe lights.
That
would be seizure inducing.
I don't know about strobes, but having lights everywhere would be cool. I have no objection to that. What else we got?
Green lights.
We got green lights?
Oh, yes. Well, this has kind of come up. In League One, apparently Dallas has a new team, a new affiliate, but they're going to be League One. So they're...
Oh, we should probably talk about
the next one.
Okay,
yeah.
New structure.
Yeah, no.
This will be a good lead-in. Okay.
We'll get into that. Yeah, that's why it was... Squirrel. No, yeah, there's going to be a new Dallas Fort Worth team playing in Frisco, same stadium as what was that? What's FC Dallas Stadium?
Toyota Field.
Another one.
Toyota is one of the biggest sponsors of American soccer
I
right
wanted
now.
to say Toyota, but it was like, no, that's
Well,
too many
they've
Toyotas.
got naming rights of FC Dallas, and they've got the FC Dallas Stadium, and they've also got naming rights of Chicago Fire Stadium.
Well, anyways, with the possibility of future promotion, what if this Dallas Fort Worth team actually got promoted, and then you're going to have two affiliates in the same level? I don't
Um,
think that would work out like that. Sporting Kansas City already has someone.
They've well, I would say that they're going to have they would probably have two affiliates in the same level. That could happen, but the energy
It's just
really
not
kind of,
common.
well, I've noticed something though. The energy really is sort of starting to go their own way,
Hmm.
and I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to be an MLS team anytime soon. I don't know that for sure, but
There's really not much love for FC Dallas here.
not at all.
There might be Cowboy fans, and you'll find Ranger fans, but FC Dallas,
We
it's like,
don't
no, no.
when it comes to Texas teams, yeah, the Cowboys are about as far as it goes here.
Yeah, maybe the Rangers, maybe the
You don't
Stars,
see,
but
yeah, it's not a whole lot of. We don't with Sporting Kansas City when we were the affiliate for them, it was a little bit different story. A lot of that had to do with Jimmy Nielsen being the goalkeeper during their magical MLS Cup run that they had, and a lot of that had to do with Jimmy Nielsen. Um, Now you don't see nearly anything close to that, but and that's for obvious reasons. But as I said, we'll see what happens with this new team that they're going to have. I'm sure that you're probably going to have more and more MLS clubs
oh yeah,
having League One and maybe League Two teams as well.
yeah,
So
yeah. The affiliations is going to keep
personally,
shifting up as this all expands.
personally, I'd like to see all this affiliation crap end and let's get promotion and relegation. But we'll
Yeah,
talk about that here a little bit.
it's working fine for hockey and baseball and basketball.
It works fine for
But
that,
that's just not the model for soccer.
in soccer, it doesn't work this way.
No,
It
not at all.
shouldn't work.
So yeah, it's kind of like
But welcome to the United States, where money rules all.
he looked at him crossways. He's got a legal argument. This is a very backward state.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the rebrandification.
Brandification.
We went very much for an English model. Damn the British. Basically, USL is now the championship.
USL Championship is now what they're going to be rebranding it to, and you're going to have
instead of D3.
It's not going to be called D3. It's going to be League One and League Two.
PDL now League Two.
You're going to have USL Championship, the Championship League, and then League One, League Two. PDL is becoming League Two, and there's the brand new league will become known as League One. And I'm all for this because this is going to set up something like promotion and relegation. We just got to get MLS on board. Or you could have something like where you can't get promoted into MLS, or where it's just all the USL leagues would be promoted, relegated, or whatever. So I would be down for that because promotion and relegation is healthy for the sport, and it's healthy for competition within the sport.
There was an article I was reading, and the person was purely speculating, but they were talking about what if they went all out and did a USL Premier League and actually tried to rival the MLS? And it was like, there's no way that's going to happen.
I wouldn't want to see that happen.
In the instance that MLS goes like baseball or football and they just start pissing off their fan bases, maybe
that's entirely possible.
It's possible then, but
right now with the way that
there's not going to be
a USL is going to be, I wouldn't recommend anything of the sort. NASA figured that out the hard way. Didn't they?
They almost kind of had something for a second, and then MLS was just like, you know what? How about you give us your good teams?
Really need to bring the Cosmos in, man. It would be a complete.
I want to see them all come in. I want to see the Armada come in and all the remainder ones. I want to see the Puerto Rico. That'd be cool if we had Puerto Rico FC if they continue. Which I haven't heard anything about them folding or anything. They're just.
I think right now, for the time being, they're playing in what is going to be League Two. Because and that's just pretty much to kind of save on costs. But God, I don't want to see the Cosmos fold. Oh no, that's a historic team. That's one of the few teams from the United States where people from other countries actually know about that. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of that has to do with, especially during the '70s when Pele played for them.
Yep.
When you
And
had,
even the current team is a
when you had,
resurrection
when you had,
of that old
when you had
team.
Franz Beckenbauer play for them. Yeah, and the current resurrection, people will understand it, people know it, and there's a lot of followers in New York City. And that's a big market.
Mhm.
So, man, I don't want to see that happen, but at the
Spruce them
same
up,
time,
bring them into USL.
yeah.
I bet their attendance would shoot back up because it was probably
Oh,
a
yeah.
little there for a minute because even the fans are looking around going, "Is this league even going to be here next season?"
Nobody knew.
So it was
And
kind
I
of,
can't say as I.
So I think it would give them a nice pop just coming to the USL
So
championship.
I hope, I think this is going to be a good move. I think this is going to help out with the sport in the United States, and it'll help out with a lot of the development leagues. One thing, and just before we move on, there was one little side argument I was there. Apparently, in 2021, there's going to be a new Chicago team.
Yes.
Chicago's a big city. Of course, I mean, I've been there several times, but and Chicago could hold 2 teams. I mean, it could. Here's my issue. You have a city to the north called Milwaukee that has no teams whatsoever.
Well, they have now they don't anymore. The Bucks moved to. They had the Milwaukee Bucks of the League Two.
That's ridiculous.
That was it.
I mean, they can't. It's especially considering that there's such a high German population in Milwaukee. There's a I don't know if how many of you have been to Milwaukee or not, but it's a big beer drinking city. There's, before you think, well, why is that important? Well, look at Cincinnati. You have a supporters group called Die Innenstadt. I mean, there's a lot of German prevalence there, and it's a very, very, very soccer heavy city. The only thing I can think of as to why it is that there's not a professional team in Milwaukee is because of, well, there's probably just not a lot of the money that's there.
Well, not just that. A lot of it was, I looked at the stadiums there. Aside from like little high school
You could build
stadiums,
one.
There wasn't. That's what they would have to do.
You could build one there. I think it would do well in USL. And it's a shame that a city that large doesn't have one professional team in it.
Yeah.
Especially considering that there's a relatively well-attended amateur league in Milwaukee. There's a city league in Milwaukee. And I think if you were to put the money into it in Milwaukee and not just have a USL Chicago team or yet another, it's kind of stupid, personally. I mean, to me, but I don't know. I wanted to touch on that before, because I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, why is there not a team in Milwaukee? I think it would do really well.
Build everything.
I think it would do really well if you just invested the money into it. But maybe there's just nobody in Milwaukee that wants to. Maybe there's just nobody in Milwaukee that wants to invest the money into it.
And the Brewers should go invest in it. They're already in sports. Why not?
Well, they got the money to do so. And another thing is you don't have an NHL team.
Well,
you don't have a NFL team there. You could do really well in Milwaukee, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. Maybe just there's some Wisconsin hate or something. And with all the billboards for Tommy Bartlett's water show, I can't say as I blame them. Wisconsinites will understand that joke.
Yeah, I get that one. Sure.
I got family up there.
Sure.
They're great people. What can I say?
Yeah, exactly. PNR, USL, which at the time was called D3 still, they were doing those little videos where they were talking to, the fat guys that ran the league. And yes, well, what was that line? What was that movie? Follow the smoke, find the fat man. I always thought it was funny. Anyways, but they were talking about it, and yes, they absolutely are interested in this, but the impression I got is it's not going to be this upcoming season. Possibly next one, we might see the beginnings of promotion and relegation.
Man.
But at the same time, right now, it's like I want it all to happen, but at the same time, it's like, but the energy won't be able to get promoted up yet. There's
We
only
won't
the
be able to get
possibility
promoted
of going down.
yeah,
I mean, it's
to MLS. MLS has to get on board. I mean, MLS has to get on board.
yeah.
I don't give a shit what anybody has to say about it. It's like, well, but they invested all of this money into it. So what? Yeah, you can continue to invest money into it. People invest. There's tons and tons of leagues all over the world that have promotion and relegation, and they invest millions of dollars into that. And so don't give me this crap that it's like, oh well, but nobody will want to put anything money into it. Yeah, they will.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, they will. In fact, there's a part of me that wouldn't want it simply because there would be more money put into that.
Yeah.
Especially with a lot of the larger market teams. But I really think it would be a great thing. It would improve growth. It would improve growth of the sport in the United States for having promotion and relegation. However, of course, MLS is probably not going to be on board here for a while.
No, that's going to.
Whereas I do think they could introduce promotion and relegation within the current league setup, especially now that they have League One and League Two with the championship. So you could do something like that, and USL says they're all for it.
Yeah.
Of course, MLS isn't probably not going to be on board, but
no,
with seeing it how it is, man, this could be the beginning of it. So let's see what happens. I mean, I am going to be all for it. I'm happy that that's happened. So
it's an interesting concept. You really don't see this in most other sports. Imagine if like an Oklahoma City Dodgers got relegated to the Texas League.
The thing is, yeah, you don't in America. You don't see this in the United States.
At all, or in Canada.
For the most part, most Americans look at this as if it's a completely foreign concept. And yeah, sure, for the most part it is, but it's not like we wouldn't get used to it.
No.
I mean, you could do it for a couple of years and people would finally go, oh, okay, well, if you do poorly, then you'll go to another league. Yeah, that's unheard of in the United States, but it's not like we're too stupid to figure it out. I mean,
no.
So, the biggest issue I would say in the way right now is MLS and the amount of money, how it's driving a lot of the sport, but money drives the sports in other countries as well. You know, particularly whenever you look at a lot of the wealthier leagues in Europe. So, especially with La Liga and the Premier League, and whatever the hell the French call theirs, this year. So it's and in Bundesliga too. You see a lot of teams in like Bayern München, Borussia Dortmund, where they stay. They've never really been relegated. Same thing in La Liga with Real Madrid and Barcelona. They've never been relegated.
Yeah, it'll never really happen, but
with the way that they've put money into it, though, there's a good chance it's not. So
it's not like the NFL.
I think it would really be more conducive with how we have it set up in the United States. It's just that we've never had anything of the sort like that.
No, yeah.
So at first it would be kind of an alien concept, but we'd get used to it. We would get used to it.
No, I think Americans would catch on. They'd figure it out and go, this actually adds a level of drama, because if your team sucks, well, now you're trying to avoid relegation, win a game just so we don't go down a level. It makes it more interesting, especially if your team's shit.
Now you're not going to win at the highest level if your team sucks. So it just brings another fold into how the game will be played here in the United States.
So I'm excited for it.
I am too. Yeah, I hope it happens. I really do.
Well, it's like I want Tulsa to get relegated because they suck.
All right, I have allergy problems right now. That's why I keep just. So
or Swope Park. No, I want to see Swope Park.
That would be hilarious. I would laugh so hard at that.
Because of Tulsa, it's like, yeah, it'd be funny because they did it because they sucked and not just because they were pulled down. But then it's like the Derby. No, let's see Swope Park go down. Or San Antonio, that'd be a good one too. I'd enjoy that.
Oh, San Antonio, I'd laugh my ass off.
Yeah. Or hell, RGV. Pretty much just not us.
I don't have so much of a problem with RGV as I do San Antonio. San Antonio could bite it. All right, what else we got? Oh, all right.
right? Yeah, do you want to watch the highlights for this one?
Yes, let's do that.
Might as well
Yeah,
here.
and it was a shame that Didier Drogba couldn't walk out of the. Now, from what I understand, he might be coming back next season, but I don't know for sure. So
Mm,
the man's 40 years old.
yeah,
So I don't know. We'll see what's going on
they
there.
don't. Yeah, okay. He can come play for us for a little bit before he retires.
I wish we had like some really awesome player from Oklahoma.
If you look at this, cooking with Kelsey, they stole from the energy.
That was just 1 week ago too. We got that in.
And there it is.
There's the goal.
Oh no, hold on. Where's the actual highlight video, USL? Why do you gotta make this shit complicated? Wait, they didn't play Orange County. Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's the Western Conference.
Cup.
Final 2018. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's it. Yeah. No, as I said, it's a shame that it really it really is a shame that they couldn't that Phoenix couldn't do it, but it was pretty neat to see to see Louisville repeat the way they did. And here's another thing: Louisville's getting their own stadium here pretty quick, and it's going to be on the eastern side of Louisville's downtown.
That was an easy one.
So it's kind of neat to see that here's this the University Stadium allowed them to play the USL Cup there.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and there you have all the Phoenix fans that made the journey.
And yeah, and they travel well. Phoenix travels really well.
And they traveled well too for the game before this against Orange County.
Yeah.
Like that one whole section was just red.
Nothing but red, man.
And you actually saw, of course, more Orange County fans, supporters there than normal.
And I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that grow in the Los Angeles area because it's needed to. But they really need to put like something other than LA Galaxy. They need to have a better Super Classico there in LA. I don't know. I'm glad to see that there's multiple teams in the New York and Los Angeles areas because that means that the sport's growing exponentially.
And there it was right there. That was, yeah, it was too busy.
Look at them. They went nuts.
Yeah.
That sea of purple right there.
Yeah, that was kind of busy to stop that shot. That was amidst the chaos, he saw his moment. He got it in there. Which the hell was that? Luke Spencer. He was also the MVP of this game. For that right there.
Oh, man. That was hard to defend.
Yeah, no, very much.
Kicked it out. Boom. In and out.
Right, and then you had 3 yellows for both sides in this game. And then after that, yeah, that was it, pretty much. Yes, kidding, I know.
It was great to see. I mean, I was thinking it's a shame that Western Conference didn't win it again this year, but hey, kudos to Louisville.
Yeah, the only time we won it was when Sacramento won it.
That was 2014.
Yeah.
And there it is. There's the final whistle.
And is there a pitch? I don't recall.
The whole place went crazy. Well, I guess we're about to find out.
No, I guess they didn't let all those fans on the field. Well, that's too bad.
And they hoisted the cup trophy.
I don't know. I'm not a big Phoenix fan. I think it's because I ran into that Phoenix fan channel.
That douchebag.
Yeah, that asshole. He made that song.
I mean, I got a lot of love for Banditos.
But yeah,
any anti-fascist supporters group, man, especially the Banditos, man, because I was kind of surprised how widely known they are throughout a lot of anti-fascist groups. Not just a supporters group. I mean, it was people that aren't even soccer fans. I was surprised. It was like, oh yeah,
No,
I
that
know
I've
about the
heard of them. Yeah, that was
Banditos, and
kind of
it's
weird.
like how the hell do you know that? You know what I mean? So, um, granted, yeah, my hats are off to Louisville City, but come on, man, the Western Conference not winning it is a shame.
Yeah, we need to get in there, and the energy needs to win it.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Hoisting it up and have all those green ribbons all over it, Oh,
I would like to see a final where it's
I would
just
so
a
totally take the
crazy
work
amount of
off.
goals.
I would so totally call into work and just go to the
Oh yeah,
game.
yeah.
I'd be like, sorry guys, but
Be like, man, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm going to the game. I told you, I'm going to the game.
like I'm gonna call in. I am calling in for
I
that.
would so do that. There would, yeah, no, I wouldn't do this or that. And we're talking about championships. Might as well. Why not?
Oh yes,
NWSL, North Carolina Courage. I
yeah.
always want to call
That's
them the
the well, that's
Cougars
the affiliate of
because
North Carolina FC.
beating the Portland Thorns, the team in the NWSL that actually has pretty damn good attendance. In fact, I'm impressed by the NWSL. They have solid attendance. They get better. Well, half their teams get better attendance than us.
I'm always impressed with the Cascadia region of the United States and
Yeah.
how well they've embraced the game. It's incredible, especially a lot of foreign players when they come and play in Seattle or Portland. They think and a lot of them are surprised. They're like, I can't believe this is the United States. But it's because they turn out so well.
Oh yeah.
And they do the same exact thing for the women's game. And here we are
Well,
looking
shit.
at it.
Where's the highlights for this game?
Let's check that out. I never understand why anybody gives them hatred. And I think it's just sexism. We here at Retro Sports we despise that thing. Here we go.
Yeah. From Portland, Oregon. Where? Hold on. There she is. Yeah, look at that crowd. $20,000
Wow.
for an
That's impressive.
NWSL. Yeah. Do women's leagues in other countries get close to that?
Not really. It's about the same as it is from what I understand here in the United States.
Hmm.
Maybe over in Europe, maybe, but
Broadcasting
usually
live on Lifetime.
I'm down. I love this. This is great.
Ah, shut up. A bit wide.
I know there was a player from Brazil. Her name was Marta, but everybody in Brazil knew about her. She was like the Michael Jordan of women's soccer there for the longest time, or at least in Brazil.
You sure it wasn't Dabinha?
Oh, I don't know.
Dabinha?
No, her name was Marta.
Huh.
Everybody knew who Marta was.
And that was the first one right there. Which who the hell was that? That is the Brazilian who is simply known as Dabinha.
Yeah, that's a pretty common thing in Portugal and Brazil, where they just go by one name as a professional player. I'm not exactly sure why that is and why the.
Well, I went on her Wikipedia page and it tells her full real name, but yeah, the page is called
Yeah, it's like with
Dabinha.
Pele,
You don't need Danica Patrick. You need.
Gahincha.
Well, the.
It's great to see a sellout though.
Oh, yeah. And the shows on Lifetime have improved. I actually found something I'd watch on TV on that channel. And I don't really watch TV.
Well, I remember watching Unsolved Mysteries when it was on.
Oh, yeah, that's
That was
true.
a long time ago
That is.
though, with Robert Stack, who was always solid. And North Carolina just, it's like Yeah, apparently this is the women's affiliate team with North Carolina FC.
Yeah, and then
I'll be honest, I'm not terribly familiar with the.
right
Wow, that was great.
there. I think that one was Jessica McDonald. And was it? She's like, look, ball. Wide right in. Yeah, I think it was well, once. Hold on, let's see that again. Sometimes when you get weird angles and you're at the game and it's like goal and it's like no, it just hit the side of the net. I like to see the possession percentage on this one.
Damn. She tried to kick it out of there. Had a bit for the keeper.
Yeah, North Carolina's getting a lot of shots in this one. Oh, almost an assist by the goalie too. And I think that was McDonald again. Yep. DeBinha got one, and Jesse McDonald with two. Those got two yellow. And Portland did absolutely nothing. They didn't even get any cards. They did nothing in this. They got there, and that was pretty much it. Yeah. After that,
they showed up.
They showed up.
And that sucks because
even Phoenix got three yellows.
I have a lot of respect for the Thorns, man. It looks like they showed up and then nothing else happened.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no more goals after this. But they're getting chances, though.
Yeah.
They had a chance as long as they kept trying. It's just that clock wasn't on their side.
It's like they're getting good setups, but man, North Carolina's playing some defense.
She wanted a card.
That was a foul in the box, though. It just didn't get called.
And nobody there. Too late. Good clear, and this is an extra time, and there we go. And that's it. 3-0.
Man.
Congratulations,
North Carolina.
Yep. And that's how they did. Yeah, 3-0 on that one. But yeah, a lot of good shots by Portland. Apparently, they eventually woke the fuck up. Apparently. And then let's see, what the hell is this? Oh yes, more postseason action.
Oh, this is. I was just looking at Liga MX.
Liga MX.
Yeah, the Mexico. It's not till next week as Cruz Azul's last game. That's what I was wanting to talk about, man. I've fallen in love with this team out of Mexico.
Cruz Azul.
Cruz Azul, they're my team, man. That's how it is. I hope they get I hope they get a new stadium in Mexico City, and it's like a world class stadium. You know? But that'll be probably what holds me over. That and watching Arsenal, so we'll see what goes on. So far, they're in the top part of Liga MX. What else we got?
MLS postseason.
No,
Sporting Kansas City and the Portland Timbers.
New York City's out of it.
Yeah.
I was not happy about that, but
And then the
then
New York
again,
Red Bulls taking on Atlanta. Atlanta getting pretty deep.
I've now found a new reason to hate yet another Atlanta team.
But let's see. Game one for Atlanta, New York, November 25th. That's on a Sunday. It'll be in Atlanta. Then the next one, 29th, Thursday. Red Bulls host. Portland, same exact dates. Game one, but it'll be in Portland Sunday. Game two, 29th, in Kansas City on Thursday. I don't really like any of these teams.
Yeah, Columbus is out of it now, so I'm not rooting for anybody. So
San Jose sucked.
yeah, man, it was sad to see New York City go because, man, I mean, that's ever since David Villa showed up there. Well, they were the first. Uh, it's been it was bittersweet to watch that happen. So it's the only city team I like on earth either. Too. I'm not really much of any other team at all. That's it right there. So
We're like a city team,
personally,
but we're not.
no,
Not
no,
intentionally.
not intentionally.
It's like
That's
dancing
kinda,
on the fence somehow.
well,
It's
but
some
it's
weird
not.
limbo.
It's not the same as like Manchester City.
Yeah.
You know, New York City's like that. And then you have Melbourne City. And I think there's
Yeah.
like a couple others in some other leagues around the world. But other than that, I think that's all that Etihad. That's all that Etihad plays. So I mean, or Etihad Airlines. That's all the ones that they own. So
Yeah.
then that's just United Arab Emirates.
Yep.
So yeah, as far as the two teams inside of the Eastern Conference for MLS,
I want to see Jimmy just come out in the second half and tear it up. Yeah, if I had to pick a team that I'd want to win the cup and go all the way, I guess
yeah, it's like
Kansas City because of Jimmy.
yes,
I really don't particularly care for any of these fucking teams.
me neither.
Atlanta, I don't really care about. Fuck the
Atlanta's got great attendance, but you know something, you're affiliated with the Falcons, and therefore I hate you. So, and of course the Red Bulls, dude. New York City's blue. Eat shit. All right, so
I'm a Patriot fan, so I have no reason to hate Atlanta.
you got to remember something, man. It's in New York City, the word fuck isn't a word; it's a comma. So, yeah, fuck.
Fuck indeed.
Next.
Yeah, I got nothing else on that. Oh, this one's nice though. They've qualified for the World Cup.
Yes. All right. Does Megan Rapinoe still play for the? I love her. She's great.
Look it up. See what it's all about. I don't know. I didn't see that. I didn't look for her. But anyways, yes, we did qualify. France 2019. Of course, we are the three-time World Cup champs. 91, 99, 2015.
Yeah.
We won the CONCACAF.
We won the Hex.
We beat Canada 2-0. Despite that, though, Canada still made it in. So did Jamaica, which we beat both of them. I think we beat Jamaica like 6-2 or 6-1 or some shit, like October 15th. I don't remember where the hell it was. But those are the qualified for the Women's World Cup in France for, North America, U.S., Canada, and Jamaica. Which I think it's Jamaica's very first time actually making it into the Women's World Cup. I don't think they've been there before.
Yeah. She's still the captain forward. So yeah, I got a lot of love for Megan Rapinoe.
Carly Lloyd too.
Yeah.
Jessica McDonald.
Wow.
Oh hey, Jessica McDonald, the one that scored the goals for North Carolina. There she is. She's on the national team too. I didn't know that.
Well, she'll probably be one of the starters out there with Carly Lloyd and Megan Rapinoe. So.
Oh, we're gonna murder everyone at the World Cup, aren't we?
I hope so.
Because we do every year. Like the one year where it was us in Japan. That was I told you I got up to get my drink and I came back and it was like 4-0 and the game just started.
I think didn't Japan win that one though?
Fuck no, we killed them like fucking 6-1 again or some shit.
Or this was 2015.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure
Champions in 91, 99, and 2015.
Yeah, it's 2015. See what it was. I'm pretty sure it was Japan, and we
Yeah,
murdered.
yeah, it was Japan.
What was
I
the
guess
score?
because
Probably scroll down.
hang on, no, it was in Canada.
Yeah, there's the groups, and it was
There it is,
5-2.
5-2.
Yeah, we murdered them. We scored like 3 or 4 of those goals in like the first 10 minutes. It was stupid. Like I wanted to keep watching, but it's like I'm pretty sure they're gonna win. So
I just remember watching the 2011 one, and that was when Japan defeated the United States, but they got revenge.
yeah, they did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I was not happy about Japan losing or Japan beating the
Yeah,
United
that
States.
was fucking.
That was bullshit. But at the same time, hey man, you won. I mean,
Yeah, we're back.
It came down to penalties. I watched that whole game and I was not happy about that. But yeah, we kicked their ass, and I'm glad to see that we qualified, and we're going to. Here, I'm gonna scroll it up real quick. Hang on. Da, 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 da. Gonna be in France, so.
And we're gonna keep it.
And I really think, yeah, I mean, it's very, very possible that we could keep this cup. So we'll see what.
That'd be sweet. Back to back.
Let's see if there's any.
To back.
So far, CONCACAF, Jamaica, Canada, United States. CONMEBOL, it's Chile, Argentina, Brazil. No surprise. And then UEFA,
right.
let's see, we England, France. France, of course, is hosting. Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Scotland, Spain, and Sweden. And then we're still waiting on teams from Africa and Oceania. In Asia, Australia, China, Japan, South Korea, and Thailand.
Thailand got in there.
Yeah. So
but no Mongolia.
We'll see. We'll see what happens here. There's.
Man, that'd be sweet if it came down to like us against Brazil and we destroyed them.
Man, damn. Marseille doesn't have one. They're not going to play in Marseille. I'd love to Marseille. It's like right over here next to Nice. It's an ancient city. I mean, but and I remember there was like Greek columns that were built there like 500 years, like 2,500 years ago. It's like I'm putting my hand on it going, wow, this is that old, you know?
Yeah.
But at Marseille, I had such a blast while I was there, man. It was such an awesome city. So,
but they don't get a game.
And that's incredible because there's my favorite French team is in Marseille. It's Olympique Marseille, and they have a stadium there. I mean, I'm just wondering why it. Yeah, I don't know why it is that. Well, it didn't really say. Yeah, I don't know.
We may never know. But we did make it.
They're playing in Lyon. There's some really nice nightclubs in Lyon. Yeah. It was like that. Pretty close.
And Japan made it too.
Yeah, Japan, South Korea, China, Australia. That's Asia. Then we're still waiting on Africa.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have anyone figured out there yet.
Well, let me take a look here, see what's going on. Still in the knockout stage. It's not going to be played until November 27th, a little bit after Thanksgiving, and then the first place will be in Accra on December 1st. So we're still waiting on. First matches will be played on November 17th. So today, or tomorrow rather,